So have you tried law of attraction and failed? Have you given it a go? Because there's a big how about it and you've given it a go and you realize, this is not as big as they say it to be. And you became skeptical about it. So this is a subject that I've been trying and testing for the last 24 years for sure. The first time I read the Law of Attraction book, Think and Grow Rich, the singular version I read in 1999, and then I read the English version in year 2000. So I've read the same book in two different languages. There's a little twist to that, I have to say, with the single edition as well. So it's been for 23, 24 years. When I read that, I actually thought, oh, this is so good, man. This is amazing. This sounds so good. But then there were not actually many people who were in this subject. You look like a strange person when you talk about this whole attraction, its energy and all sorts of things. So I kept it to myself. I tried and tested by myself. I didn't have many people to talk other than just one of my very close best friend. Now, fast forward to somewhere around 2010, 2011, with the YouTube, the law of attraction became such a normal thing to talk about that right now, we are in 2023, I'm pretty sure there are hundreds of thousands of videos out there in all sorts of video platforms. There are so many coaches, trainers, books. Even there's a movie called Secret, very directly talking about law of attraction. Now that's where we are. So there's no more secret. But I have seen there are a lot of gaps in this whole practice. So this is a video that I didn't actually want to do because I'm a leadership coach, I'm a business coach, I'm a sports performance coach, and these are a lot of techniques, a lot of psychology that I talk about. And everything that I bring into the table for transforming someone are very directly practical things. I don't bring anything that is, spiritual woo-woo things that people don't understand. So this is a video that I didn't want to do it. Then I realized almost 9 out of 10 people who come to me are actually really interested and very curious about law of attraction. Some people just come indirectly 3-4 sessions later, ask like, well, Ramindu, what do you think about this law of attraction? Like they come like that. Then I thought, let me just talk about it. So I'm sharing 6 points, guys, that very, very lesser known, almost secretive, and these are the gaps to fill in this vast thing and extremely curious, a strange thing called law of attraction. The first 3 are the negatives that you do. The negatives. Number 1. The negative law of attraction. You need to understand there's something called a negative law of attraction. And before that, you need to understand something, that whether you believe it or not, you are practicing law of attraction, meaning that you are thinking something, a very bias about something. Psychology, they have found out our brain is negative bias. So our brain is not designed for us to thrive. Our brain is not designed for us to stay happy and blissful. Your brain, your and mine brain is designed for us to survive. For 2.5 million years, we've been coming down this evolution and we have mastered the art of surviving and escaping dangers. Because in the civilization in the jungle, your saber-toothed tigers and bears and snakes and all sorts of things are running after you. That's why we have these fight or flight instincts coming in a couple of seconds. So they have found out the moment you enter a new room somewhere, huge part of your brain started immediately thinking about what's not right in this room. Not what's right in this room, what's not right in this room. That's how negative bias our brain is. It's because of our survival instincts. So therefore, you're very likely that if you just let this brain go wild, you're very likely to end up in a negative law of attraction. So you're thinking negative. So as a result, you are going to attract a lot of negative things. Now there's a scientific backing as well, luckily at the time of this video. There's something called reticular activating system, RAS, which, have you heard of this philosophical line that your eyes see what your mind wants you to see? That's been proven by science as well. There's something called delete and distort in psychology. They have found out that if you're looking for something bad, negative, and every positive will be distorted right before your eyes, and you're definitely going to see the negative thing. So we have all these things to back what I'm saying. So there's something called law of negative attraction. So you're thinking something continuously. So first of all, I want you to be very honest and sincere and get a paper and write down what are the negative things that I'm thinking from the moment that I wake up on day-to-day basis. Identifying that and removing that or replacing that with an empowering lie itself is actually enough to most of the people. So if you're so ingrained with a negative law of attraction, and then you come across this Think and Grow Rich, or you land on this secret movie or whatever, and you realize, it's time for me to do this, practice this. But you don't understand yourself. You don't know what you're thinking 24/7. So you're very negative biased, and you started practicing this. That practices alone will trigger even more negative things, because you're so focused on focusing and triggering negative outcomes. So practicing this law of attraction can actually make things worse for you if you don't remove the negatives first. That brings me to the second negative of law of attraction, and that is scarcity mindset. Vast majority of the time, we won't attract something because we don't have it. Right? So you think that I need $1 million, I need $1 million, I need $1 million. So I need $1 million, which means I don't have $1 million, or this promotion, or this relationship, or this car, or whatever. What's outweigh is the fact that you're thinking that you don't have something. Your scarcity mindset is going to haunt you and disrupt this law of attraction. So you might, ask a question. So in that case, like, of course we don't have it. That's why we need it. How do you go about it? The way you go about it is defining, I own, I have this, I own it, and it's somewhere. Right now, for instance, at the time of this video, we're recording this, my car is parked somewhere. I own a car and I have a car and it's parked somewhere. It's not right before my eyes. So similar thinking that you need to think, that I have this somewhere. Even if you have your money right now, right? You have a debit card, but your money is in a bank. You don't even know where it's stored. You don't even know if you have money in the bank right now. Even if you don't even know the bank has your money at the time we are speaking. They're probably dealing with something else right now. But no, you believe, no, it's there. I have the money. A lot of the things that you have, you realize, actually, the fact that you have this belief that you have it somewhere is what you have anyway. So, similarly, replace it with, I have this promotion somewhere. I have this money somewhere. I have 100 shares somewhere in the world. I do have it. This is how you overcome this scarcity mindset. So replace that first and then practice law of attraction. Then comes to the third negative law of attraction. And this is very, very particular, very, very sensitive for South Asians. That is cultural conditioning. I have my own word that I made up for this. Culture, what I call it as dead people controlling. Culture is something that created in this part of the world many thousands of years ago. For some particular reason, it worked out for them 2,000 years ago, 3, 4, 5,000 years ago. It doesn't mean it's working for us. It doesn't mean it actually makes sense at all. For instance, let me just give an example. When I was climbing mountains in Nepal, they have this, and the route, they are very closely in line with Tibetan Buddhism as well. They have this cylinder type shape, and the Buddhists are chanting, Buddhist scriptures are imprinted in the cylinder. And there's a string of cylinders like that. And then all the climbers, at certain junctures you find them, and then you have to spin them, right? Now the people think this spinning this is actually bring you good luck charm, and you become wise, you become intelligent, and you become successful. And later on, I realized like what's imprinted in this, and found out very, very important. Abhidharma and things like that's being imprinted. It was done many thousands of years ago by a king or someone, very smart person. So people will read it in certain junctions. You know, certain junctions is where people meet and rest and stay. So you turn it around, you start reading it, right? So you have to turn to read it. Eventually, that meaning has lost along the way. Now you're just spinning it. You don't read it. Nobody has any idea what's written in there. So similarly, a lot of cultural attributes that we have, we do for no good reason. And this part of the world, what happens is, it has given you a lot of negative conditioning and negative philosophy. It pulls you back. It drags you back without letting you go forward. So we have a lot of negative thinking about money, earning money. A negative thing about luxury, being rich. self-actualization. We have a lot of negative thinking already, and actually harms us, especially for South Asians. It's actually a worldwide problem. I learned it from my coach. It's a American problem, he said. It's a European problem, it says. Well, if that's the case, man, it's a huge problem in South Asia. So you need to turn around and ask what sort of a negative belief that you have about earning money, becoming rich. And you realize a lot of the things that you believe actually doesn't make any sense, and it's actually coming from a very negative cultural conditioning. So those are the 3 negatives that you must remove before you even think of practicing law of attraction, because otherwise it's going to trigger nothing but the negative. As a result, you'll have negative experiences, you have very less results, and as a result, you're going to say, this thing doesn't work, and you'll throw it away. For those who are new to this channel, my name is Ramindu Randeni. I'm a leadership coach, I'm a business coach, and I'm a sports performance coach. I coach top corporate leaders, entrepreneurs, and at the moment, national cricketers. That's my day, how I spend my day-to-day life. So let me move forward, and I'm going to give you 3 techniques, 3 other laws that are very less talked about to make this law of attraction a reality in this whole vast area of law of attraction. So it's going to fill the gap, guys. Listen very, very carefully. I hope you have a pen and paper in your hand and you're not distracted right now when you're listening. Number 1, law of being. Meaning, a lot of people think, what should I do? What should I do? Without practicing law of attraction, chanting and thinking. Law of being means, who should I become to make this sort of money, or to be in this type of a position in the company, or be a professional sportsman, or be a spiritual person? Who should I be? Law of being. Let me explain a little bit more. Let's say that you are nicely sleeping in your room, in your house, and suddenly something happens and some bunch of thieves break into your house. Of course, you can call the police, so you should always call the police and should not get involved. But let's say you're forced to fight with these people. You have nothing to do. Your back is against the wall. There's nothing else you can do other than fighting. Should you be thinking, what weapon I use? A lot of people think that. Should I throw a chair? Should I get my baseball bat, whatever? Or, in fact, you should be thinking, who should I become? I'm an accountant, so I don't know what to do. Now, who should I become? Right now, for the next 10 minutes or next half an hour, I'm going to become the Spartan. That's who should you become. Next 1 hour, I'm a Spartan. We can switch characters. In fact, we do switch characters all the time. People just don't know how to do it consciously, right? And then, let's say you want to be a professional cricketer. Then you might think, okay, I want to be a professional cricketer. Which club should I join? What coach should I have? This in our country's part of the world as well, there are top world-class cricket coaches, school coaches there. And I played cricket, and I know one of the best in the country that I train under. And he get hundreds of kids from around the country come and train. Those 100 never have made to the Sri Lankan team. Why? So these resources doesn't mean that you're going to make it through. There are very small number of guys, which I knew that back then, they became the professional cricketer at that age straight away. Law of being. Who should I be? I am a professional cricketer. I'm someone who's going to represent my country as a top order batsman. That's a very specific thing to think. So if in that being gives you a persona, meaning in that case, what should I do? I should show incredible discipline. A lot more than everyone else. I should be thinking, drinking, eating, sleeping about this subject. I should take care of my energy, my focus. I should not get distracted. I should trim down the parties, do it extremely less, and do my training. All sorts of things is going to come into place the moment you think, I am a professional cricketer. I am a CEO. Right now, you're probably a trainee in the company, but you want to become CEO, be that CEO. Law of being. If I'm going to be the CEO, which means I should be learning this, I should have this kind of personality, this sort of behavior. That's why, have you seen some teachers, some sports coaches, they see kids age 7, 8, and they say, this one here, right here, is going to become a doctor. This one right here is going to represent the country in this sport. Have you seen that? Teachers, coaches says that. Because they can see their state of being, a law of being. Okay, that's number one that people miss. It's not about what you do. First of all, it's about being. The second rule is law of action. So one of the things that happens, there are two types when it comes to law of attraction. One group are spiritual woo-woo people. I'm partly one of them, but not greatly practical, partly spiritual woo-woo. So these people who are all into this and they have no doubts whatsoever, and that the problem is they only do that. It becomes a fantasy. They stay in this fantasy world, law of attraction. Yes, I'm going to get this incredible position. They're thinking morning, afternoon, evening. They're fantasizing about it, but no real action. Now, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to fall on me, right? And I have to bring a really good story here for those people, that category of people, that you think that this is going to come. I'm just going to sit in this chair and this $1 million, someone's going to knock on the door and give it to me. In fact, there are so many videos, so many cases mentioned. People have given examples as well. Guys, don't get carried away with this, okay? That's where this whole thing goes wrong. The story is, I'll tell you a trimmed down version. I've shared that in social media as well. And I was in London looking for a job. I brought about 500 CVs with me, and because my uncle said, bring 500 CVs. I was like, wow. So I thought I'm going to get a job in 2, 3, 4 days. First week I started giving CVs, not just randomly, places where they say there's a vacancy, and I'm a 20-year-old kid. I'm looking for this shop assistant kind of jobs. So just giving CVs. So 4 or 5 days later, I realized, this looks like the job. For 7-8 hours, I'm handing in CVs and going around in London, right? So 1 week cross, not a single phone call, not even a phone call. And I was kind of upset, but I was okay. At second week, not a single phone call. And that actually hit me really hard and cracked my confidence. I was really upset, and about 14, 15 days later. And one good thing that I do is when I'm upset, I take a walk, take a ride, take a spin. And this is something I would do even to date. So I got onto a underground and went to central London. Those days, this we're talking about a long time ago, guys. So no Google Maps, nothing. So I wanted to get lost as well in part of that whole thing. Got off from a station that I don't know, started walking randomly. The thing about London is it's such a compact and complex city. You can live in London for 10 years. There could be roads that you never even seen before. That's how compact it is. So I started walking. I saw a Buddhist flag. I thought, okay, Sri Lankan temple. And I went there, knocked on the door. It was opened by a Burmese monk. This is a Burmese temple. Then I said, oops, sorry, I didn't want to come here. I thought this is Sri Lankan temple. And the Burmese monk kindly said, we all been to Sri Lanka to your monasteries, so you're welcome to come inside. And I went inside, walked inside. He said, what do you do? Why did you come here? I was like, oh crap, why did I come here? I said, I came here to meditate. And then they said, okay, here's the place, sit down, meditate. And I sat and I was staring at this Buddhist statue. I was staring at that. My mind is so disturbed. There's no way in the hell that I'm going to meditate. And there's a old senior monk in a corner was just staring at me the whole time, right? And it's a nice, very pleasant looking monk also, Oriental, this whole persona they have. And he said, what were you doing in the streets, son? Then at that moment, I felt like, screw it, let me tell the truth. I said, you know what? I'm absolutely gutted and frustrated. I brought 500 freaking CVs. And I've ran out of all of them. Not a single phone call. This is ridiculous. The job should come to me now. So I decided I'm not going to try anymore. I'm done. I'm waiting. And then he had a smile on his face and he said, you know what? There's a really good shloka or a poem in Sanskrit. Let me share that with you. And since you're from Sri Lanka, it might actually well suited for you. And he said, the lion is the most powerful animal in the jungle. They call it the king of jungle, So lion can kill any animal it wish, anytime it wish. but the prey will never come to the lion. No matter how glorious, how majestic the lion is, the prey will never come, and lion always will have to hunt for his prey. At that moment, it hit me so hard, and I kneeled down, I said, thank you very much. I got out of the temple, ran into a communication center, got some bunch of CVs, and started distributing. Not just distributing, I brought a lot of energy and intention into it. And one place I went to, Virgin Media, and they said, we don't take CVs. You need to go online and upload a CV and send to us. I said, look, I'm right here. And I had an argument with the security guard. HR lady came. She said, what's going on? I gave her a CV. And I said, this is what you're going to get anyway if I send online. So might as well take this. And that conversation watched by one of the general manager, whom I'm still looking for, by the way. I haven't seen him for 15 years, called Gary. And he said, he called me in and said, what's the problem, young man? I said, I'm looking for a job. I'm pretty sure I can do a great job. They're not taking my CV, so here it is. He took it. It was a Friday. On Monday, they gave me a call. I got the job. So the whole point is, don't think that you're so qualified, so experienced, and you've tried so much. Now the results should come to you now. No, you should always hunt. Be a lion, but more importantly, be a lion that hunts. So this is the thing that I have to share about law of action. So if you're doing a bunch of strategies so far in your life and it's not working, it's not giving you much of results, which means you have to change your strategies. There's no point of running towards west looking for the sunrise. You're only going to see the sunset. Positive, law of attraction, none of those things will work if you don't take action, and that action has to be very adaptive, and you need to change your strategies and move on. Number 3, work on your core, which is connected to law of action. Work on your core, meaning, for instance, now when I go to gym, I see some guys actually do show up, but I'm in this gym just killing myself with my trainer for 45 minutes, 1 hour. And one guy is in the treadmill all the time. Like, guys, you don't need to join a gym if you're only going to use a treadmill. Get on the street, start walking. You go to the gym to use this most important thing in the gym. Work on your core, the hardest thing. Do the squats, do the deadlift, to do the bench press, do the hardest stuff. That's what I mean by work on your core. The most important, the thing that give you the best result. Take that tough phone call. Create that meeting that you're trying to create. Right now, last night, at the time of this video, I've been trying to get a certain person for an interview because it's going to make a significant impact for young entrepreneurs. It's a lady, and can't mention the name right now, who actually ended up creating a large conglomerate. And she's a senior lady. So I made first contact with her May 2020. At the time of this video, it's April 2023. Last night, her PA said, finally, it's confirmed. She's never given an interview to anybody. For 3 years, every single month, at least 2 times a month, I drop her a message and start to renew the conversation and say, can we do the interview next month? Something or the other happened. It never happened. And here it is. Okay? So that's what I mean. Do the hardest thing. Right? If it is something important, people are so easy to give up. They say, we tried, it didn't work out. So work on the core, meaning the hardest meeting, the toughest exercise, the nutrition or the diet which looks like is extremely tough. Those are the things that actually get you that really far, push you over the edge. Hire that bloody coach, man. At least for one-off session. Not me, I'm not talking about promoting me, anybody. Is going to make a huge impact for your journey. It's going to accelerate. How are you going to choose? Well, I'll actually give you a tip how to choose a coach. Look at the person, this is what I do, and see if this person really inspires you. Do you really like that energy in that coach? Do you see that this coach is actually also similarly excited about you as well? I've hired trainers, coaches long time ago, sports, etc. When I go to see them, they're as lethargic as hell. They're experts. but lethargic as hell seeing me because I'm just a name in one of their lists. So nothing really great happens. So find a great coach whom you are inspired and they're also excited. So it's going to do a huge transformation for sure. I'm one of the products. As a result, I've came so far. Those are the three things that I want to share. Law of being, law of action, and law of core, basically working the core, doing the hardest thing. First of all, remove those three negative law of attraction that you are consciously or unconsciously using, most of the time unconsciously that you're using, and add three other laws that a lot of people are not actually incorporating because they are just too carried away with thinking. Paul, I actually mentioned about there are two categories. There are people who spiritually who go all in and don't do anything, and there are people who are skeptics and way too biased about science and thinking this thing cannot be seen, we don't believe it. Those are the two categories. Both categories are using law of attraction consciously or unconsciously. Simple as that. Now once you have this order in place, now you sit down and write three most important things that you want to accomplish for the next 3 months or 3 years. Picture it and write your goals every single day, few times, at least morning and evening, with great energy, great intention, as if you own it and feel it, sense it, celebrate from your mind.
Hail Mary. 80,000 people on their feet watching this ball sail through the air. And downfield, there's a rookie wide receiver, third string, just leaps out of the pack. Touchdown!
Where you live probably just ruined. You just lost your business, everything's broken down. You've lost a relationship or you've lost your business or whatever. You're probably sitting on a bench, losing everything right now somewhere in the street. Start from there. And I remember, I'm going to quote Swami Rama, who made a huge impact in my life. Is a guru from Himalayas, and his guru sent him to California. Initially, he's one of the pivotal point where America discovering yoga, Swami Rama. And he said, if you're in hell, create heaven around you and heaven will come to you. So I'm going to leave you there and make sure that you bring this intention. Doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what circumstances you live. Create heaven around you. Actually feel it, sense it, celebrate it, enjoy it, and apply the other three rules, man. You're going to break through, guaranteed. You're going to have incredible results and you're going to let me know. So I'll see you in another video. And remember, you watch this video this far, you watch it for a reason. Because your time has come. Time is right. Time is now. Take action right now. Live with spirit.
My name is Ramindu. I'm a leadership coach, I'm a business coach, and a sports performance coach. So welcome to my channel.